Hello. Hello to anybody joining me. I wanted to touch base and hey, Art Souls, great to see you. Glad you're here. I kind of figured that we could just research together for a few minutes and see where we were led. Hi, Kate. Hi, Karen. So, I've had a lot on my mind the past few days, and I've been wanting to get on and share it with everybody. Um, but I guess I was just kind of like processing some of the new things coming up for myself. So I've definitely been watching the sky closely, and for about a year now, well, a lot longer than that, I kind of noticed that these like clouds of heaven started coming back in a year ago. And I believe that's when I really started filming and trying to um, really document it because I noticed that the changes were happening every day. Um, and as you all know, especially the ones that have been following me and watching with me for, I would say, the past like 3.5 months, it's just been getting so much more intense, like double, triple time every day, every week. The colors come in more vibrantly, and the beings are just more apparent to me. So a lot of us have been kind of trying to get on the same page. And hi, everybody in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Mike. Thank you for moderating. I really appreciate you being here. Um, I won't be too long. So I started noticing the spheres about 3 months ago or so. And it started out by just seeing them very vaguely, but it was enough to actually post and to have other people see it as well. Um, and then when I was going back and looking through pictures and editing and adding like older videos in with new ones and kind of mixing it up like I do sometimes, I noticed this really, really intricate sphere with like the lines cloaking it. And it was just a little ball in a cloud, very white, bright cloud. Blue skies were starting to show through every day. And the sphere, it had like little purple dots on it. I really wish I could go back and point all these things out to you. Ideally, I will be able to at some point if I can somehow get digitally a little bit more organized. So working on it. But um, the cloud storage and some different things. It's just interesting. I can't seem to access quite what I want when I want. So anyway, I do have a lot of images though, like 20,000 images. So anyway, I'm a little preoccupied with the sky. So I do believe that I'm an expert, and I do consider myself a scientist, and I do believe that I have a lot to add to what is going on. It's not just kind of frou-frou stuff. I take it very seriously. And unless I have a very good idea of what I am seeing, I don't really go into detail. At least I don't believe I do, because that's just not really how I operate. I'm here to learn with you all. It's happening for me as it's happening for you. But so the past few days were intense for me. I can see the beings, like the mantis beings, really clearly, and I'm seeing a lot of the serpent angels. But I'm also getting messages at the same time that all of the Holy Spirit's angels are serpentine. and things like that. And, I know that we're collectively all experiencing this, and I know that we can end up feeling quite alone through some of these things. And so that's why it's great when we can come together here. So, hi, Simple Gospel, welcome. Hi, Crispy, July. I am getting organized, but digitally, that's another story. So, I don't know. I do want to share what I'm getting with you all. And I get comments that say, like from subscribers that I'm not that familiar with, saying, I'm starting to see it for the first time, or somebody in my household saw, what we see. Um, and just a couple of months back, I came across some more of Tesla's material and some of his interview that I don't remember listening to before, that just really described what I'm experiencing to a T. But it's like I would like some sort of an explanation for these very mind-bending images that I'm getting, and I'm just trying to understand why they're being hidden so much. Is it because they're so mind-bending? And I mean, obviously, just like chemtrails served multiple purposes, all censorship serves multiple purposes, and it's not always just the elites hiding things. Sometimes it is because of the circumstances that, things don't just roll out. But we do know, and we are familiar with the idea that the sky could roll back like a scroll at some point. Um, I try to understand how that might be a reality. And while I'm trying to understand and fit these things in with reality for myself, it becomes very mind blowing. So we're looking at the ionosphere, is what we are seeing into. Is the ionosphere, yes, dimensions. And I thought that I would have like a better pinpointed explanation and description for you. So any input that anybody has is great. But let's see, where do I want to start? I want to show you kind of where I'm coming from with some of the new images coming in, I think. Might be a good place to kind of give you a... So this was in the middle of the day a few days ago, and I noticed a very bright pink. Not just like the pink that comes from Jupiter, because I believe that Jupiter is coming behind, and Sirius and Jupiter are laying a rainbow spectrum down. They're having a nebula right now. I mean, this is like a serious nebula, okay? But there's also craft and beings inside of there. And at the same time, it's like a big dragon. And at the same time, um, it's a whole spirit. It's an entire spirit world that's connected. So one question leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Okay, Dawn. Yeah, that's definitely a phase that you will experience but will pass. So have no worries, and just take comfort knowing that yes, it can get very intense and it can get scary, because you're like, what's coming? Why am I feeling more intensely? And why is it not letting up? And it can get very, very scary. So just know that that is totally, totally a part of just the body transforming so that we can live in a beautiful new world with no health issues. I've gotten some amazing messages that really confirm all of that. So though it may not feel like it at times, it is a very, very, very positive transformation. We're becoming multidimensional beings, like Saved Your Slave just mentioned. And, it's just not an easy task. It doesn't happen overnight. And yes, I was just going to say, cats go nuts. To go outside and walk barefoot is the thing that gets me back to feeling good and normal almost right away. Also, a little bit of sun gazing or sun glancing. You don't have to stare up at the sun. I know it is very bright and we are adjusting, but there is tremendous information to be had from just meeting, you know, your eye to the sun. I can't explain exactly why it works right now, but I know it's helped me tremendously. So yes, grounding, um, finding your peace center, which can take a few minutes sometimes, but just breathing and grounding to Mother Earth and connecting, as above, so below, in and out, and try to find that peace center and just connect. Um, I love singing bowls. I would love to have one. I have a couple of didgeridoos, so once in a while I'll pick that up. But these are not chemtrails, Unfortunately, there is a lot of people that are still under the impression that these are chemtrails. These are part of the aurora borealis, part of the winged disc, part of the dragon. So many, so many, so many different things. She is everything. I mean, I hate to. I'm not trying to be a worshipy sounding person when I say that, but literally, she is all of the things and more that we reference all the time without even knowing that we're referencing Mother Earth and the Divine Mother and the Queen of Heaven. So somehow she is a spirit. She's a big, huge spirit. And some of the things that she has around her are very, very interesting. They're beautiful, but it's like she's the queen of, peace and war. So it does get very interesting. And I've had to kind of sit with some of these images. And I'm not quite there yet. I'm just flowing through. These are pretty much unedited. So let me kind of get to a couple things that you might want to check out. But yeah, that pink just showed up and it was so interesting. And this to me looks like dragon parts. And that's a lot. That's a lot for me to try to comprehend at times. And I know it is for anybody else. But I think that a lot of you all are out there waiting for this so you can come and ground us and help us understand. Hello. Welcome, Evie Brown. I'll say these are definitely glittery. When I'm recording, the past week has been so glittery at a day, evening, anytime. And I remember on the Kronos channel, who has adamantly said that this was nothing but a plasma electric anomaly, has cited many of the ancient gods and what they thought and what they depicted. And he mentioned that they loved their glittery planet gods. And I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but it's so true. I see it so clearly. You felt a shift today, Mike? But I mean, I am seeing mantis beings, so be prepared. Um, is this sideways? I don't know how this works, really. Is this working? I don't think that works. Sorry, guys. Let's just put this back. Okay. So it gets really interesting. And I have to say that was, I had to process that for a couple days, I thought it was really cool. And then I thought, so the direction I wanted to point you all in before I really release some more of this stuff is the guy that I think was put here to probably disclose. I think that I'm here to partially introduce people to extraterrestrials, and I think that Rex from Leak Project is put in place by the divine and whatever else, whoever else, doesn't matter. He's here uh, to give disclosure in many different areas, and I've been able to awaken through many of the guests that he's had on his show and different things. So, though I don't always agree with everything, everybody's material, I mean, it's definitely um, it is all relevant. It is all relevant. I think what I have a big problem with is what's being left out, and what I have to add, and I have an issue on why is it all, certain thing, why are certain things being left out. So anyway, I found it interesting. Steve, are you here? Steve Libby, I found it really interesting that you did something about frightening ETs, especially considering we see the angels of the Trinity up there. So like stuff like that kind of gets to me, but I don't know. I have to watch it and see what you said. Let me see here. Love you, Steve. I'll watch it and see what you said, because literally I'm curious about why, like, Tyler from Secure Team 10 hasn't mentioned anything about etheric UFOs, and like all of this is in spirit. And so it's so much different than anybody thought. So they really did a number on our psyche, like whoever knew that these things were etheric and in spirit and separated it, you know? Um, I don't get it. I don't get, like, that was a big deal. So anyway, what I want to show you, because I think this was really, really great information. Where did it go, Rex? Here it is. New information on these Stargates. So this is the one. So I don't think I have any issue with, like, I don't know, I don't monetize or anything.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I know. It's like, did he have a Britney? But no, of course not. He's. I love the look. It's great.
Were after the Stargate. Certainly, they were after the boneless ones. The question is, who are the boneless ones?
I just had the reason I said that is because I literally had just read a message in Gematria saying, if you ever feel like running around and shaving your head, Brittany can relate, or something like that. So anyway,
7 times
moving
7
on.
shadows of future men. Now, this is from H.P. Blavatsky, The Secret Doctrine, H.P. Blavatsky.
The Secret Doctrine.
Brilliant. 7 times 7 shadows of future men. Now, this is from H.P. Blavatsky, The Secret Doctrine, H.P. Blavatsky. Genius, prodigy, brilliant mind. Very controversial because she makes people think.
She makes people think.
Parameters. She shakes them up a bit.
She changes people's parameters. See, that's what we're talking about here. And I love what he says here about that. And I love a lot of things that he says. I mean, he has mentioned that he believes, like his personal beliefs, he's touched on that he thinks that Christ is the Son and so on and so forth, the actual Son. So, and that he didn't like the simulator narrative necessarily. He made that pretty vocal. So, I have a lot of respect for that, for those types of things, standing in your truth. And so I'll continue.
And feeling all secure in their belief system from what they've been told, then these new layers of information are presented that expand the mind so much. People oftentimes fight it at first, and then they realize how true and accurate some of the information is, and then more becomes true, and then those parameters start to fall. But at first, it can be very hard. It was for me. It still is oftentimes. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You got to have an open mind. The mind has to work to be open, but if it's too open, then your brain can fall out.
And then he goes there, he's funny, but he said something at some point in the show about people not wanting to hear the truth. When the people that do speak up, everybody really wants them to just shut up and let people learn at their own pace. And so I've gotten a lot of that in the past, like throughout my channel, and in no means do I think that I'm ahead of anybody. So that's definitely not the issue here. But I do think that, hang on. Anyway, I do think that it's not easy. And so I don't know who's going to tune in or what. I just have to trust that people are led, and I just have to trust God. I have to trust God through everything. When all else fails, I just have to trust God. Purely just trust God's plan. So I am seeing these things, and my paradigm is shifting even through watching all of these things so closely that I bring to you and that I see all day because I spend a lot of time really, really looking and trying to understand and filming and just trying to understand time lapsing, different things that I can't always get to you, even though I want to. I can't because of not really storage, but equipment. Yeah, just digital equipment type restrictions, and so I don't always get to you what I'm seeing at all. And it's all very mind bending and very mind blowing. Oh, how weird. It's new from Secure Team 10. Eerie. Man did not expect this to happen. So Secure Team 10 just came out with something. I don't know when. That's funny because I wanted to finish my thought about that. So synchronicity for sure for me. Um, he has been telling people that we're always looking for these like zooming lights, like faster than speed lights. We know that they break the sound barrier, so there's a thing with the sound. Well, I did watch a live stream with Tyler not too long ago, and somebody asked him on the live stream if he believed in spirits, and he said he absolutely did not believe in interdimensional spirits. I might have misheard what he said, but like he really, really made it clear that he did not really even entertain the thought that like his wife did, but he didn't even really go there. He did not believe in ghosts, spirits, interdimensional beings. So I don't know why that's just stuck out to me. And it just really sings to why we're all so confused and why this is so baffling to us and why this is so mind bending for us. Because, you know, like these things come in silence. And I've always wondered what it would be like to see a spirit. And now it's happening. So I am understanding that this must be some sort of it's very interesting. I can put it that way. I don't think I'm prepared to continue with that, but I wanted you to go and check out the Leak Project, okay? And know that I'm going to release some really interesting stuff in the coming days, and I believe that you're going to see it. And I expect for the censorship to lift and to end so that we can come together and share what we know. I happen to know that the mantis beings are the Holy Spirit's favorite creation. They're extremely benevolent. The entire Holy Spirit system comes in silence somehow. So it's just mind blowing when you're looking and you're just like, you want this sign, but literally they're up there. It's cities up there, cities and places, and they're merging with us. So somehow, a lot of people are transcending death and we're becoming 10th dimensional beings. And it's very hard to wrap your mind around. It just is. Um, So I can appreciate it. But it's just beautiful. I like that, Chris. I often learn the thing I need for one thing just moments before. That's great. I like that, and that's part of just the faith and trusting and having been prepared and knowing that we'll continue to be prepared. Because these are living waters and it's like an underwater world there. So, we've tried to imagine what was deep in our sea, but it's even greater out um, in the ionosphere and out in other realms of the universe that we just didn't even really understand. Oh, thank you, Karen. I'm so glad I got on. It feels good to get it out. Been tripping on it a little bit for the past several days because, can I show you before I go? Hang on. Oh, sorry, guys. Um, there's a lot of serpentine images coming up, and I'm finding that, like I said, the angels of the Most High are serpentine. Who knew? Highly, highly hidden stuff. And it will continue to be highly hidden unless, you know, we can tip the algorithms and we can really just get it out there. Truth is out there. We got to just clear the confusion up. Oh, that's really great. I love that, Alex. Beautiful. How's everybody doing? Yeah, but I see these like faces with like long, these are spirit beings. It's really cool. So I'm excited, but at the same time, I see some stuff up there that I have never comprehended in my any creative imagination in any life that I can remember. And that's just the truth. It's just wild. It's beautiful, but it's wild. Definitely waters. You see the living waters here. Yes, Michael, let's talk about that. Magic with electricity. So Jupiter is setting in. A lot of this is Jupiter. I think the beings are like the serpentine beings, and the blue is Sirius. And Sirius is getting rid of the nighttime. And Jupiter is like the Lyrians and the cat-like leopard beings, and they're getting rid of Jupiter's getting rid of daytime because we are becoming self-illuminating, as you've seen T. Taylor show. Very cool stuff. Gotta love that. I again consider myself a scientist. My theory that I put out on why the sun dog is that is the Taurus field of the gods. And when they are aligned, which they do align because they do have God technology, you see the different, spectrums and the different things that we see. And I do believe that all of this blue and red are the Kachinas, and they are having nebulas. It's Betelgeuse and Sirius. The red Kachina is Betelgeuse, aka Mercury. Who knew? And Sirius is also Halley's Comet. Who knew? And also Comet Ison. Who knew? I had no idea. Ooh, a self-illuminating fairy. I like it. I love it. I can't wait. But I'm still one of those people that's having a hard time with this because I always wanted to see this. Now, can you imagine if we weren't prepared? Thank God we're prepared, but I think that some that are having a hard time with this taking place are not wanting people to be prepared. They're wanting people's hearts to fail them. I don't know what else to think because I'm sure having a hard time getting this information out. Yeah, I found author Sheldon Moore who taught me more about this than anybody. And he is an enlightened Buddhist. He's an author of Awakening Zen Buddha Within. So definitely look into author Sheldon Moore. In fact, hang up with me and go right over to one of his interviews. I'm going to put one in my link. I'm going to link it in my description because, you guys, it's so beautiful. And there's so much remembrance, and it makes so much sense. It's like totally astrotheology. It brings everything together. Really, it does. So Sheldon Moore, he really helped me to understand this, and I think that I'm gonna go and listen to his material tonight as well because this is Shambala arriving, Maitraya, and I also did a video on that where he sent me the prophecies, so you can listen to me read the prophecy that he sent me, um, and I'll link that in the description as well. That was one of my videos that did the best. So here's one of the mind-bending things that I'd like to share, that type of thing. So this is next to the sun, and it does look like some sort of serpent being. I do see caterpillars, and that's what I wanted to tell you. So, we see these like snakes and different types of beings inside bubbles, and flies and mantis beings and all of that. And they're coming like closer. And they're really pretty, but they don't make any noise and they won't communicate. And it's like, well, really, what's going on? So it gets kind of like, with the whole narrative that
The trade wars
this
with
is,
China.
something very negative, which I'm telling you it's not. The fallen are here, they're human. They've been here this whole time. They're not arriving. The Holy Spirit is arriving. The Holy Spirit is the one that's arriving right now. And um, but he really did just touch on some cool stuff. So I don't know if this is like disclosure because these things are really starting to show up for us or what. But I'd like to just touch on that part.
On what we can do to actually use this. Get 3 sliders with fries. Is that a representation?
Yeah, the
of
Holy
Eggborn?
Spirit is
Yes,
here
it
for
is.
sure. I agree. I
So did
totally
the
agree.
Eggborn
And I
that
absolutely agree
came
with
through
Christ
the Stargate
consciousness. I
or
believe
after the
that
Stargate?
the Holy Spirit is the original Christ. And I go through why on my past videos, and people don't like that I spout that out, but that's what I'm told to communicate because people don't know about all of her incarnations, and people don't know that she's here, and people don't know to believe in her and that you can then see her. Did you hear what? Absolutely, Christ consciousness is a thing. I would say that she is our kundalini. They are our spine. I'm finding that the serpentine is our spine at some level. So there's some very hidden truth about that. So, just be prepared to look into all of these things. Don't be scared of them. And if fear comes up, just like me, just allow it to pass. Allow it to process. It will pass. And the intense physical feelings will pass. And when they do, you always feel so much better than ever. And then it kind of lets you know that anything really is becoming possible. Let's listen to what he said about these beings.
Certainly, they were after the boneless ones. The question is, who are the boneless ones? 7 times 7 shadows of future men. Now, this is from H.P. Blavatsky, The Secret Doctrine, H.P. Blavatsky. Genius, prodigy, brilliant mind. Very controversial because she makes people think. She changes people's parameters. She shakes them up a bit when they're comfortable and feeling all secure in their belief system from what they've been told. Then these new layers of information are presented that expand the mind so much. People oftentimes fight it at first, and then they realize how true and accurate some of the information is. And then more becomes true, and then those parameters start to fall. But at first, it can be very hard. It was for me. It still is oftentimes. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. You got to have an open mind. The mind has to work to be open, but if it's too open, then your brain can fall out on the sidewalk and somebody can step on it. So you got to have discernment. You got to cross-reference. You got to research. And even then, once you think you know it all, then you realize you don't know nothing. Here we go. 7 times
Yeah.
7 shadows of future men were born. There's that number 7 again. Each of his own color and kind, each inferior to his father. The fathers, the boneless, could give no life to beings with bones. Their progeny were Buddha, with neither form nor mind. Therefore, they are called the Chaya. The Chaya. The Chaya. So that's page 711. Now, if we go to page
Okay, so
700.
these are things that if you are like me, I think that these are things that we should be studying. And if I had the energy to put together like an amazing video and, like some of these, but the research is so hard to do anymore. And my channel is so hidden. YouTube's just really like, just does not, they are not going to monetize, and which is fine. I don't think that I ever really wanted that. My point is that I just don't have the resources right now to make the videos that I think should be made surrounding these amazing, amazing discoveries and this knowledge. But I think that it's definitely something that we have to seek out individually, right? Anyway, so it's best. But I one day hope to have that type of channel. I think that would be great. And not only that, but I'm in talks with the Dolly Museum about doing a piece there. So that's exciting. So I do have some really cool stuff coming up. But as far as like the really deep, beautiful knowledge goes, I just kind of wanted to point you in that direction because I think this is so profound. I think this is disclosure.
Ready. These were set apart among the 7. They became narrow headed. The third were ready. In these shall we dwell, said the lords of the flame.
Yeah,
So
it'll
these
be
are the
great.
boneless ones. These bodies have been created now. And they're saying, okay, we're going to go dwell in these bodies. How did the Manasa, the sons of wisdom, act? They rejected the self born. They are not ready. They spurned the sweat born. They are not quite ready.
Yes.
They would not enter the first egg born. So they're still not going in these bodies. When the sweat-born produced the egg-born,
Something I want to say too. There's something about fire, and he's going to mention fire. And obviously, I've been highlighting the fires, and that is one of the most controversial things that I've ever encountered. But I've also gotten messages about it the whole time, and I'm realizing that the spirit world has been here the whole time. I think Clear Blue Jay, you probably are somebody that I would just love to call on the phone right now and just, pick your brain and listen and like shut up and listen, which is something I need to do. Um, so if you can point me into the right direction to, just try to understand, because I like your response today, your comments on my videos brought me comfort. Not that I'm like in total fear, I'm just at a lack of, I don't understand. And the research for me has changed. It's hard to find things, it's spotty. But the fires, apparently, firemen know that there's spirit in fire. And, I get messages about that. So, some interesting things coming up.
twofold, and the mighty, the powerful with bones, the lords of wisdom said, now shall we create. Now let's go to page 783. Stanza 4. 7 times 7 shadows of future men were born, each of his own color and kind, each inferior to his father. The fathers, the boneless, could give no life to beings with bones. Their progeny were Bhuta, with neither form nor mind. Therefore, they are called the Chaya. So, Bhuta means phantoms, and Chaya is image of shadows. Now let's go to page 796. Empty, senseless Buddha. Thus have the boneless given life to those who became later men with bones in the third race. And the third race, men with bones. This is page 846. The mind-born, the boneless, gave being to the will-born with bones. Adding that this took place in the middle of the third race, 18 million years ago, has yet a chance of being accepted by future scientists. She's even saying right now, scientists are not accepting
Good
this,
morning.
modern science, although in the future, technology is going to back up.
Yeah, so inside the plasma are these beings that Rex is talking about, and I just didn't want to keep showing you these beings that are showing up more and more clearly for me and for everybody without giving you some information on who who it was, you know? Because it's been pretty vague. So that's what I wanted to touch on. I think tomorrow I will come on live, and I think a good time would be around 1:20 tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, my time, Eastern, 1:20. So if you guys can be there, that would be great. And I can go over some of the messages I've been getting in gematria and a few more of my pictures. I will leave you with a few of my images that I'm getting. Yeah, I mean, it's the purifier. So Jupiter is the purifier, and part of the purifying is for sure. I see DNA spirals everywhere. The clouds are DNA spirals. Some of the ships are. So it's wild. It's so crazy, guys. It's nuts. Nuts. Yeah, without a doubt. I wanted to say too, Red Chevy, um, I think that I told you a while back, I think that we have another like 3.5 years of tribulation. And what I just wanted to explain that that's constantly like, there's no constant to that. Everybody's always doing these calculations on time and days and everything. And I have to say that timelines are changing so much. The Antichrist is actually jumping timelines to prolong all of this and to change things. There's definitely manipulation going on with that. People can't really time travel at this point because the Holy Spirit is in control of that, but they can jump timelines as we can. We can change timelines. Looks like ET. So I do think that we have some more time, but not a lot. I don't think that it just started, and the Antichrist is fully in effect. I have no doubt about that, and there's multiple. Now, for some reason, they want you to think that there's going to be this big unveiling. It's like, well, why do they want an Antichrist? Because they're going to get it if they keep saying so. No, we'll see what happens in that realm. But if you've noticed, the pyramids are sealed off. So Satan is down there. Satan has been overcome. I'm not saying Satan is dead and gone, but Satan has been overcome. So this is so interesting, you guys. Oh my gosh. This is kind of something that really we've been talking about the emblem that I've been seeing on the Holy Spirit ship. And she's mentioned that we've unchained her with our love and that she was chained as ransom for her family for some reason. So, and that Tiamat, this is Tiamat coming back. This is planet Tiamat coming back. But she has, look at these chains. I hope you can see what I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is kind of the cloud, right? And I have many different versions of this. This was at the park yesterday during my live. Here we are. We are light beings that never die. I love that. Yes. And that is what has brought me comfort. But then, like, lately, it's kind of been like, that's really freaking intense, you know? But I mean, I've been through the molecular change, I'm almost through it. And the results are good. Like, I'm happy. Like, I feel good. I'm going to look, you know, healthy and happy very soon. Um, things are going to be really good. I have no doubt. Um, I'm just trying to understand, you know, I think it's just all the questions that follow when, you know, and it's just, it's the never ending story. And it's the whole trying to comprehend the never ending story that kind of blows my mind sometimes. Thank you, Alex. I love your comments. I love you. I haven't gotten to my emails, but I will. So don't worry. That's also why I have these lives, just in case there's something pressing. But, oh, Ria, hi. Everything is great. Thank you. Much love. Thank you for all your support on my channel and all of your inspiration with your work. I don't know. What time is it? I have no idea. I had coffee though, so I'm like not too tired. I think it's yeah, it's almost 1. Yeah, I was trying to kind of prepare. Yes, we are becoming 10th dimensional beings, is what the information that I'm getting with the crystalline DNA transformation, which I think is covered most thoroughly by the crystalline DNA T. Taylor channel. And she literally has pulled it all together for you all. So go way back to some of the first videos she put out. There's some of the best you'll find on the subject. And then, of course, it just gets more and more interesting. Latest was so cool. Now, this is not showing up the way I'm seeing it, but trying to think what else was there that I should address while I'm here. Where are you at, Matthew C? But yeah, this is an etheric dragon. These are, you know, etheric water dragons, apparently. So, and as you can see, look, there's nothing there. You know, we see these wispy type clouds all the time, don't we? Okay. Well, we know that there's stuff up there and we're trying to comprehend how. Well, here we are. Do you see that? I have no idea what my boyfriend's watching on Netflix in there, but it's really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So clearly ships cloaking themselves. Oh, good, Alex. You will love that. I was thinking, that's so weird. Because I was thinking about you and how you said that you had emailed me, and I knew that you had asked me a question, and I thought, I bet he would love to watch T. Taylor. What if it was at the same time you actually were? That's so weird. See, I love you guys. I think about you. I mean, really, I do. Hi, Yvette. Um, yeah, crystalline DNA is just our etheric DNA. So, well, not just our etheric DNA, but it's like the junk DNA that scientists used to talk about and that they've always dissuaded us from. And they've always tried to separate us from our bodies, you know, because they like, well, they work for the beast system for the most part, at least the scientists that get the information credible and certified, credified. That's a new one. And so now we're finding out that there is frou-frou etheric. Just like frou-frou etheric ships in the sky, we also have etheric light bodies that are developing more and more every day. And it's because of this star system that we're seeing. The star system shrouded in serpentine clouds. And it's Sirius, it's Planet X, goddess Nemesis. That's so cool. But yeah, Sirius, the binary spiritual sun, is coming closer, along with Jupiter, um, Jupiter rising, and they're getting married to bring us a new world, to bring us into the golden age. No, my spirit is the most annoying sometimes. I mean, as you guys know, I just got called out for being annoying. Just trying to get the truth, just trying to help people set themselves free, that's all. I mean, and I can't always help it. I am possessed by the Holy Spirit, so, and I wouldn't really have it any other way, you know? Because the only other way would probably be to be possessed by something darker, and I think there is still a duality that I don't partake in. So, the hive mind of Satan that only cares about himself. And, you know, I think from a different place. There is a Jesus singularity. Oh, thank you. Well, this was one of the ones that really was like, wow, because this is just sitting there. Um, and it looks like a spider caught a wasp and is leaving it to wait to eat it later. Thank you. Same with you. So, what is that all about? Because that kind of trips me out, you guys. But it's beautiful. Everything's covered in spheres. These are the living waters, and everything's covered in spheres. Somebody left me a message earlier that said every atom is has intelligence. Every single particle has intelligence. So that would be the God particle. That is God. That's how God is everything, quite literally. And that's always what I've known. You know, I don't get into my theories on exactly that, but I think that's kind of where we're headed, to these understandings. We are going to understand our relationship with God. On the Raven Wolf channel, she did a really great release of some Edward Cayce work, and wow, like it just says it so perfectly. In fact, I can go there now because I think it's so inspiring. But apparently, people are not seeing what I'm seeing, but then they are starting to. Because everyone's still trying to tell me that I'm creating this with my mind. And I'm like, no, no, we are having a collective dream. I am not. Because that'll make somebody crazy. That's why I know that these narratives are dangerous. That's why I can be obnoxious in chat rooms, and that's because I'm highly hidden, because some of these are secrets that nobody wants to get out. Some of them are they're probably like, how does this bitch know this? And the reason I know is because God is speaking to me in gematria. Point blank period. So, let me go to that video. God can be many things too. God can be the matrix that you live in. And so that's how Saturn was our God. That's how Satan was the God of this world. That's how that was, that's how that was meant. Edgar Cayce's Age of the Lily. So I thought this was beautiful. So go to her channel and watch it, okay? Um, I'll put the link in the description. That's the thing, though. The kingdom is in you, but I see entities that are bigger than us. I think it's my higher being. I do. I think it's Christ, but she's visible. She's a spirit. She is a spirit and she is visible. I love it. Me too. I think so too. So, Christ is definitely, the kingdom is in you. I would never deny that, okay? But we're unlocking being able to see the kingdom. You have to know to believe so that you can see it. Oh, this is so interesting. Oh, and they actually showed my comment. I think that things are lifting. I think censorship is getting better and we're tipping the scales. These beautiful spheres of heaven. See, I mean, come on, guys. That's so beautiful. That was like the first day they showed up. The narrative is that they're buckyballs. I don't even know where they're going with that. Oh, I was pissed. That this is the big G, not the demiurge god. These things Mandela effect. Yeah, Jesus said to look up. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. And that's where I started getting mad. And that's where I start getting pissed off and thinking that somebody might fit the definition of an antichrist. And just like, I don't throw that around lightly, but when I hear somebody laughing while they say that he's not coming in the clouds, and like literally, I've watched it 50 times, this person laugh and say, he's not coming in the clouds, the kingdom's within you. It's like, the kingdom's within you and he's coming in the clouds, okay? So I see it and I'm thinking that some people can't, so maybe they aren't the Antichrist. You have to decide that for yourself. But I think that if somebody's hiding the fact that Christ is returning and that Jupiter, who is Jesus Christ returning, the realm of Jupiter is Christ returning, I see it and I'm proving it. So how can we say that God's not coming from up there? Like, what about the lands that have been spoken of that are coming, that I'm filming? Like, we can see them coming. So why don't we talk about that? Why would I be crazy to want to talk about that? Especially considering I don't know who really is seeing my videos at all. So I don't know, but anyway, I'm not mad. I'm just trying to tell you where I'm coming from. From what I can tell, with all the observations and all the watching closely that Thank you. As within, so without. Such a huge teaching, and one that I believe Christ learned very well in his teachings and then taught. I think it's so important. As above, so below, in and out. Like point blank period. There's nothing else, right? That's it. And Tesla really spoke about that, as I was saying, and experiencing that. Alfred and I were talking today, and it's like, well, when did we, and also Dolly Daydream talks about like falling, and somebody else talks a lot about falling from grace, maybe. Well, but at what point did we like get cut off? You know? When did we get cut off? Because it seems like it was during this lifetime, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know what to think sometimes, you know? Is that these are conscious beings. I was just gonna see if these have Mandela affected. Keep seeking. If you don't have peace,
brings peace.
Yeah, I think that he reincarnated through all of us that are carrying the spark of Christ within, that are going through the light body process, that are, we all know who we are. I think we could have identified with Satan or Christ. And I think that at some point we made our choice. And I think I am infiltrated with Christ, the Holy Spirit. I do find it very interesting that the prodigal son is the gospel of Jesus Christ. I didn't realize that until a year or two ago. About a year ago, I realized that no, I think that he's here as many men, this is what I believe, Carl. I believe that he's here as many men, and that there are higher entities up there. The Trinity is up there, but they've returned. Like they're back. Like back together, back in action, back accessible to us. I don't know, but they're here and they're performing miracles, and they're performing judgments from heaven as I was told they would. There's no doubt about that. But the information is forbidden. That's why nobody's here. I don't think it's just because people don't care for what I'm saying or my voice, or I think that it's because this information is not being divvied out, because that's what I've been saying. My whole channel has been about the return of Christ. And so, yeah, they don't want that. They don't, the knowledge is forbidden, very much so. That Christ is here, Satan is subdued, but there's still people in charge that are being very stubborn. So it's fine. It's inevitable. Like, I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to come to themselves. They're coming to a compromise with themselves to come to a compromise. But people like me are more than willing and ready to work with anybody that can open up their mind and heart. I'll check that out, Rick. I can't wait. Very cool. Thank you. Should I play it now? Hi, Kirk Plain. Yes, he would be, Carl. But Christ consciousness says that Christ is living throughout many of us. So that's something that we're still trying to understand. I mean, you've got, I don't know, you've got one teaching that I don't agree with that claims that you are Christ reincarnated. And I don't see it that way. I see it as we are enlightened by the photonic light and we receive our light bodies. And that makes us Christed. And then I think there's a higher being. But I think the return of Christ is through his Christed army as well. Yeah, that's the message I got today. I am one man. Carl, actually, here you go. That's beautiful. I'm glad you said that, because you know what? Check this out. These are the messages that I got today. And past 3 days. Where is it? Remember, I am one man and you are millions. That's pretty cool, huh? Highest angel god is likened to Helen Keller. I've always found that interesting. I'm trying to understand that. And see here, that leads right into it. Yeah, it's through our heart and our eyes. So God is our heart and eyes. So Christ is our heart and eyes, supposedly, once you're awakened with the Kundalini, right? The individual, unique spirit, the Christed one, who is Joe Schmo. Yeah, I feel you. I don't know. I just gotta see, I guess. I don't know. I feel you. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Man will cease to commit atrocities when he ceases to believe in absurdities. So, yeah, I thought I'd go over some of these with you guys tomorrow if you'd like. And yeah, I feel like many of these are straight from the Holy Spirit. It's the Elohim that, that I communicate with most often, and my future self. It's all of it. It's all true. And I think I've been saying that since the beginning. Uh, that I just, that everything's coming. Heaven, hell, all of it. It's all here. It's all coming. He'd rather be humbly awaiting the day rather than what, Carl? Rather than sitting here wondering. I know, I just don't know what I'm awaiting, but I know that that's a big thing, with the awake or conscious community. Yeah, I know. Rap the News is showing how. Because if you're scared of it, it actually very well can turn into that. That's the sad part. That's why I spend, that's why I stay awake, and that's why I do what I do, because I was hoping to help prevent some of that. And I'm not saying that the fight is futile, but I'm just one person, and they got me covered. Yes, that's beautiful. I agree. And that's where my healing came from. Ooh, that's nice. I love that. Wow, Claire Blue Jay, thank you. That's great. That's so great. Yeah, that's where most of my healing came from, was finding these truths, finding relief through, the Holy Spirit and through trusting God. And yeah, it was like landmarks, and I feel pretty damn good today. So stay in hope and love, and beauty is on its way if it's not already surrounding you. And I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow around 1:20 Eastern. I'm sorry, Rick. Let me see if I can answer your question. What was I seeing where, Rick? I'm looking back to see if I can find your question. And it's like it might be one of those situations where your question didn't show up for some reason on the chat, which is so annoying because we're being censored and stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, leave it in comments if you don't mind, and I will talk to you soon. Wow, what? Oh, yeah, forgive my talk if I sound bitchy ever. I'm just. It's weird to like try to communicate this way, right? But we're doing the best we can, right? I love you.